Yeah, good morning. It's Jim from JAGfx.com. It is Tuesday, the 12th of June 2018. A little bit late getting my weekly video out. Supposed to do it last night, but my throat is a little bit sore. Hasn't improved, but I'll try and get through. So if I sound a bit croaky, I do apologise. Hopefully there's not too much background noise. I'm doing it at about 6:30 in the morning here in Da Nang, Vietnam, and the construction will start up soon, so hopefully it won't be too bad. So what I do here is I just run through the charts, all the pairs I'm looking at on the high probability method, which is from my high probability book and also my Divergence book, and I also look through the mod MACD method, which is the bonus system from the basics book. But before we start that, I'll just have a quick look at this week's news. It's a fairly big week. We're Tuesday now, so this is through Forex Factory, as most of you guys know I use. You can filter this just to show what you actually want to see. So I just like to look at the high impact, which is the red squares. Tuesday, it's been a very quiet morning this morning, so not much happening as yet. And what we've got, Wednesday, which starts to pick up a bit. The big one for me is Thursday morning, very early, 1 AM, so I guess you could say Wednesday night. I'll be awake and watching it. Federal funds rate out of the United States, basically United States interest rates, and they're expecting a rise. It's currently at 1.75%, expecting a 0.25% rise there. And they have the press conference half an hour later. So that's the big one. Everyone should be aware of that. That will more than likely affect the markets, especially the US pairs. So be very careful around this time. We've also got, I believe, on Friday, the Japanese interest rates. So that could have an effect on the yen pairs. So lots of news this week, guys, especially that US interest rates. And I believe also President Trump is speaking with his North Korean counterpart in Singapore this week. And a bit of trivia for you. President Trump's birthday is on June the 14th, which is a couple of days away. The only reason I know that, same date as my brother. He's impressed. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on. Let's have a look at the charts. So we're on the high probability. They're the ones with a black background. I'll just quickly go through these pairs. As usual, blue lines basically show a buy, red lines a sell. So here we are, this is a USD Japanese yen, and we're in a buy in this area here. So where the lines intersect, that's where my trade's taken, and the red dotted lines normally represent my stop areas. You can pause the video, you can see my details on the chart. I'll write all my trades on the chart and my thoughts. So we're in a buy there, looking good, so we'll sit on that, no problems. Euro pound, it's an ugly chart, isn't it? It's just going nowhere. So the MAs are tightening up, just jamming up in here, so I'm just ignoring this for now. Pound yen in a buy down in this area here. I've already closed half, stops moved right up. MACD's through the zero level now, so I'm just keeping a close eye on this. We're getting close to the MAs. It's looking all right. New Zealand Swiss franc, not much happening here. I drew a trend line down here, but didn't really do much. There's a base down here, not much happening. A grey vertical line like that just signifies that I am watching something. Like there's a red dot on the MACD Platinum, so that just gives me an early warning. So when I flick through the charts, I just know there's something happening, possibly happening. There's another grey line here. USD Canadian dollar, going nowhere real quick. Drawing a trend line across the bottom here, just watching it for now. I'm not that excited about anything there. Euro Canadian, probably looking for this to roll over to the downside. The reason I drew these blue or aqua trend lines in here is this green dot was still a buy signal, valid buy signal, and it was still valid buy signal down here. So just drew trend lines across there, and I could have taken trades up to the upside there. Aussie New Zealand, Aussie USD. You can see my notes up here. I was previously stopped out on a sell on this trade here. Now possibly looking for another sell. It's like a lot of the Aussie pairs at the moment. You'll see when I get to another one, it's going nowhere quickly. Euro, Swiss franc, in a buy here. In this area here, it's going up nicely. MACD is getting closer to zero level now, so when it gets up a little bit higher, I may look at, if it gets up towards a 240 LMA, I may look at taking half off the table. There's good support across that green line there, that green trend line. New Zealand, Japanese yen. Yeah, this is a buy trade I didn't take. I think I explained that in my last video, just too close to the MAs. Pity, it was a nice one. But now I've got a red dot in the MACD above zero, so that's the reason for the grey line, possibly looking for sells. USD, Swiss franc. Yeah, this one's been in a, we've had a grey line there for a while now. It's come down. I've drawn my possible divergence lines in already, just in preparation. So looking for bullish divergence there, it's pretty obvious. Possibly with the interest rates coming out, there's going to be a move on this. It's good double top up there, but nothing in at the moment. Pound, USD, now I'm in a buy here. I'll just move my chart a bit. You can see my stop is below the low here. It's sort of rolling over, not showing much strength here. It's a tough one. I might, before the interest rates, I might jam my stop up much tighter, or at least above the point of entry. I'll just see how it moves the next sort of 24 hours or so. But yeah, it's not looking that pretty, even though it was in small profit. Euro USD, similar to the pound, except I've already taken half off the table here on this buy trade. Got him down here somewhere, and the MACD looks like it's running out of steam, and we've got that orange trend line there. That's my JAGfx RD indicator, which is freely available to anyone in my Facebook group. That's bearish, so that's one of the reasons through the MACD I took, and the bearish JAGfx RD, that's why I took the half off, moved my stop up. So Euro Aussie, took a loss on the first trade, this first blue line here, drew a trend line across here because the buy signal is still valid. Took another buy in here, and it hasn't really gone anywhere. Getting close, the MACD is getting close to the zero level now, so I might be taking evasive action or just see. Euro yen, I didn't take the buy down here. There's no divergence against the trend at the moment. It's going up nicely, but I'm not in anything, so we'll just stand buying that one. Pound Swiss franc in a buy here, back here. It's just been meandering for a few days. Ugly candles. Meanwhile, the MACD's heading up, so we've got a stop in place. We're just below my point of entry, so we're just going to sit on that for now. Canadian, Japanese yen, going sideways in nothing, grey line there. Even if I got a buy signal, which I didn't take, well that's actually a buy signal, that grey line. I didn't take the trade. Look where we are in the MAs. For me, I'm just not comfortable taking that, so it's going sideways. Aussie Canadian. Now I spoke about this in the Facebook group, might have been yesterday. Sell signal here, definite sell signal. Where that? I'll draw a grey, stand by, I'll draw a grey line there. That's a definite sell signal there. I'd already had this trend line in, and the reason I didn't take it, this candle the next day gapped up on, that was Monday's open, yesterday's open for the week, and it gapped right up, and I thought I'll just wait and see if I can get a little bit better price if it comes on the other side of this trend line. And today you can see it's still slowly going up. I like it, it's still a potential sell. I'll just keep an eye on it, and if it rolls through this trend line and this red dot remains intact, I like how the MACD is a fair way above zero level. So, and there's good divergence there, as you can see by the red trend lines. That's just something I'm watching. Aussie Swiss franc. Now this is one ugly chart. You see we've got like just to the right of the grey line there. Look at that, big bullish candle, big bearish candle, big bullish candle, big bearish candle. That just makes it tough to trade. You know, look at all these different coloured dots, all pretty close to the zero level. It's one ugly chart, it's a tough one to trade. So I'm just waiting for some sort of clear indication which way it's going to head. The Aussie yen, not as bad, but it's similar. It's all very tight around the MACD platinum. You know, you could probably make a case for some divergence across there. It's not even, it might even be a double top. You know, it's not pretty. It's not easy to trade. So we'll just wait and see what happens. Swiss franc, Japanese yen, similar. There's your little divergence of mark. We've got a red dot here. So if I got a red dot on my QMP filter, I may look at a sell trade, but at the moment it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. So not anything there, just waiting. Euro, New Zealand dollar in a buy here. MACD's heading up. Prices going nowhere quickly. It's one, yeah, I'll just leave that one on. I've got to stop and place. Canadian, Swiss franc. Not much happening here. Drew my grey line here. No green QMP filter dot yet. Look at the MAs, very tight, very flat. That level there is a bit of a support slash probably resistance level now. I don't know. We'll see. But boring. New Zealand USD. Probably looking for a sell now. We're above the MACD's above the zero level a fair way. We've got a red dot. Draw my grey line. Got bearish JAGfx RD. Just waiting for it to roll over if it does. Pound Aussie in a buy here, just below the entry level at the moment. There was a break of the trend line, which was nice, but you know, there was divergence there. It's not really setting the world on fire. Just wait and see. We're getting close to the MACD, the zero level now, but yeah, it's a tough one. It's not really doing what I thought it would, and price is struggling to get through the 240 LMA. We'll just sit on it for now. USD, Singapore dollar, possibly waiting for a buy signal here. Again, it's a US dollar pair, so I might not do anything until after the interest rate release. Pound, Canadian dollar, looking at, we've got a red dot here, bearish JAGfx RD, possibly looking for it to roll over. Another one that was, there's your buy signal, last buy signal there. MACD headed up, price headed down, good divergence, trend line drawn down through the tops there. Could have you could have got in here somewhere, but then it would have went against you again. And that's a problem with these trend lines. Sometimes they look easy in hindsight to draw, but in live time they are hard to draw. So you know, you could have done another one there. You know, you just sort of move it with price. It's not the ideal situation. I prefer like a much sort of more mechanical, if this happens, do that sort of thing. Trend lines can be a little bit discretionary at times. Right, pound New Zealand, we're in a buy here. Again, look at it, you know, you look at these candles, big bullish, big bearish, big bullish, it goes nowhere. MACD saying it should be going up. We've got a good sort of base with this red line here. My stop's below that. We're in a buy. We're down a bit, but it's not too bad, so we'll just sit tight there for now. New Zealand Canadian. Looking for a price to roll over. There's good bearish divergence there, as you can see by the red trend lines. We're way above the MACD platinum's way above the zero level. We've got a red dot, grey lines in place. JAGfx RD is bearish. Price is sort of weakening there. All these candles with the little spikes up. So ideally, it should sort of roll over to the downside. That's the plan in theory. Aussie New Zealand in nothing at the moment. There was a buy signal in this area here. I didn't take it. It just didn't look good at all, the setup. And I think it's to do with the MAs and that, and sort of it's a smart move, I think. So now we'll just it's rolled over, but there's now potential. It's a bit hard to draw this trend line at the moment, but it's across there somewhere, and I'll just keep an eye on that. There's a possible buy coming up. So that's about it for the high probability charts, guys. So I'll move on to the mod MACDs. We're in a few trades on these also, so just give it a couple of seconds while my profile changes over. Should learn how to pause this video, shouldn't I? Here we go. Right, so these are a lot of background. So this is the mod MACD. This, just for a reminder, this relates to mainly the fast MACD here, which has got settings of 6, 12, 1. So when it goes through the 0 line, for me it creates these green and red dots. Those green and red dots, you don't need them. They're just a third party custom indicator I've purchased, so I can't share it with you guys. Sorry about that. If you want it though, just go to Jennifer's site at simplycombo.com. That's where I bought it from, and that's no affiliated link or anything. So it's just handy, just makes it more of a visual aid, a bit like my QMP filter. Anyway, we'll race through these. We're in a buy. This is USD, Japanese yen. We're in a buy here. You can see that again, same deal with the lines. Blue lines signify buy. Went against me a little bit, and now it's come up nicely. You can see it all there. You can always pause the video and have a look at each pair, but I've just got to race through them, that's all. Pound yen in a buy here also, same deal. You can see it on the chart, it's pretty easy to see. USD Canadian in a buy over here. You can see the line. It was a bit ugly prior to that. Normally when you get a little ugly clump like that of dots or crosses, normally means there's going to be a breakout one way or the other. Now whether it happens or not, who knows, but we're in a buy. You see prices come against me and it's kept me in the buy. Euro Canadian. We're in a buy. I wasn't real keen on this one because I was trading right into that 240 LMA, so that's why I made the notes. A high risk there, it might be too close to the MA. It's still profitable, still above the 0 level. Let's have a look. Aussie USD in a buy in here. I think I took a loss before, yeah, 73 pips on the previous one, 74 pips. It's not looking that flash, it's coming back down, but for now it's still holding the buy, again going into that MA, slightly higher risk. Euro Swiss franc in nothing here. I just look for that cross and then I look at the other signals. New Zealand Japanese yen in a buy here, as you can see, again into that 240 LMA. Not that flash, but it's in profit. USD Swiss franc in a sell up here. I think I've already closed half already, stops down, stops the black dotted line on these charts, just so it's a little bit easy to see. And as you can see, price is starting to head up. The MACD is starting to slowly head back towards the 0 level. Pound USD, my throat's starting to get sore. Took a buy only a couple of days ago and I wasn't that impressed with it. It hasn't really gone anywhere. Look how flat it is there. Price hasn't gone that far, but it could get a bit messy come US interest rate day. Euro USD, same sort of deal. Took a buy in here, going nowhere for a couple of days now. It's right near my entry level. Euro Aussie moving up slowly. The MAs are crossing. It's just getting a little bit ugly in here. We'll just wait to see what happens. Euro yen in a buy in this area, as you can see quite clearly, again into the MA. So I'm in a lot of trades, probably on the wrong side, but eventually price has to get on the other side of the 240 LMA. Pound Swiss, nothing there. Canadian Japanese yen in a sell in this area, as you can see, went down a bit, pulled back, now sort of going nowhere, getting very close to me closing this one out. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. They're very easy to spot the setups on this, that's a good thing. Aussie Canadian in a buy here, closed half already. I think I might have closed it when I got up to the 240 LMA, which is a good sign. And and now I've moved my stop up, so it's just below the entry level. And you just ignore these QMP dots now. Basically, I'm watching the stop will be sort of following the 25 SMA. As you can see, the good thing about the mod MACD method is the disadvantage is you get into a trade a lot later than a high probability trade. But once you're in, you can stay in a lot longer. So there's a trade-off. Excuse me. There is a trade-off. Aussie Swiss franc. Again, this is this ugly chart I talked about before. I took a loss, and you can see here, look, it's just so tight along here. We've now got a green dot, so if that gets confirmed tomorrow, I might look at taking a buy. It's got to break out sometime. It doesn't have to, but it will eventually. And so I'll be ready to go. At the moment, nothing though. Aussie Japanese yen. I took a sell over here. I was stopped out at the 240 LMA and that level in that area there, so I should just get rid of that line because I'm not actually in a trade. I'm out at the moment. I didn't take the buy. It was too close to the 240 LMA, and like I said, it's going a bit sideways, that one also. Swiss franc Japanese yen in a buy here in this area, and it's going up nicely. There's no stoppage yet, so I might look at, I took a previous loss on my sell, 125, and we're up about 110 at the moment. So if it gets up that 240 LMA, then I'll look at closing out half, something along those lines. Euro New Zealand in a sell up here, already closed one, stops below the point of entry, so I'm just waiting to see how that pans out. Price possibly get to 240 and struggle again, but it may cross the fast MACD may cross before then. Canadian Swiss franc in a sell up here, closed half already when it got to 240 LMA. Now I've got to stop in place, so protecting that also, all good. New Zealand, took the buy in here, look at that, going nowhere. I think it's going to roll over that, but I took the buy and I'll just wait and see how it pans out. Just above the point of entry at the moment. Pound Aussie, nothing happening as yet. My throat's starting to get really sore. USD Swiss franc, sorry, it's USD Singapore dollar, nothing happening as yet. Pound Canadian, I took a buy here. We're just below the point of entry at the moment. It's just wasn't real impressed. I took it right on the 240 LMA. But it was a valid signal, so I took it, but it's just not going anywhere at the moment. Pound New Zealand in a sell back here, already closed half, probably around the 240 LMA area, stops well below the point of entry, so that's looking all right at the moment. New Zealand Canadian, took a buy in here, not that flash because it was close to the 240 LMA again. I accidentally closed half of this, but it's probably the smart thing. I went to close another trade and actually closed this one, but so I've closed half, stops down here. Yeah, it just looks like it wants to roll over all these little, I don't know what you call these wicks. It's a candle pattern that looks pretty obvious. Aussie New Zealand, this is the one I took to sell, had the loss recovery, which I took at that black dotted line. Now it's all a bit tight and ugly like I've written down here. We're just below my entry point. It's just not looking that pretty. So that's about it for the charts, guys. I'm sorry if I've sort of petered off a bit there. My throat is super sore. So like I said, the news coming up on late for me on Wednesday night. It's 1 AM Thursday morning for me, local. That's Da Nang time or Hanoi time in Vietnam. Interest rates out of the US. It could, and I'm more than likely it will move the market some way. So if you get a bounce, it's normally, I always sort of watch the Euro USD when I'm watching the news. If you get a bounce there, it will be 50 to 60 pips at least. Now if there's no bounce, price will could shoot up hundreds of pips, so just be careful, especially if you're a day trader on the smaller time frames. any USD pairs, there could be a big move. So, all right. Thanks for that, and I do apologise for the sore throat and probably a bit raspy, but all good, and I'll chat to you guys hopefully next week. Cheers.